Welcome to the True North Country Comics podcast, dedicated to promote Canadian comic book creators and supporters. I'm John Swinimer. On this episode, Canadian comic book creator Jim Zub talks about his current and future projects, including Glitter Bomb, plus his thoughts on independent comic books. Jim also talks about the course he teaches as a professor at Seneca College in Toronto. Jim is a writer, artist, and art instructor based in Toronto with over 15 years of work in the industry, including publishing, movie, and video game companies. And these include Marvel, DC Comics, Capcom, Hasbro, Cartoon Network, and Bandai Namco. When he's not working as a freelance comic writer, he's a program coordinator for Toronto's Seneca College award-winning animation program. Before we begin, I encourage you to like this podcast on iTunes and definitely check out the TrueNorthCountryComics.com website. Like us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and discover a lot more information about Canadian comic book creators and supporters. And now, on with the podcast. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've got new and exciting going on right now?
Sure. So I've got two series I'm doing at Image Comics. My ongoing one's called Wayward. It's just recently been optioned for TV development in Japan. And Glitter Bomb, which is a Hollywood horror story. Both of those are published by Image and they're creator-owned. I write the official Dungeons & Dragons comic for IDW, and I write the Uncanny Avengers at Marvel. So those four comics are keeping me out of trouble.
Can you talk about what's new down the road, like something around the corner that you're just really excited about?
Well, the Glitter Bomb, we did one miniseries last year, and this fall we're launching with the second miniseries. So it's a separate but connected story from the first one. It's called Glitter Bomb: The Fame Game. The first issue comes out in September 20th.
That's cool. I noticed online, socially, you've been talking about independent comics and what you like to do to support those. Can you talk a little bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think creator-owned comics are really the future, kind of creative hotbed. That's where new ideas are getting put together. In the case of Glitter Bomb, like Jabril Morissette, my co-creator, is also Canadian. He's here at the show, and we're working together to make a project that we're really passionate about. It's not Canadian content in the sense of it takes place in Canada, but as creators, we're kind of putting our cohesive vision down on the page. He's doing beautiful artwork. I'm trying to keep up with the best story that I can, to really match the quality there, and just make something that we're proud of as creators. And both, I think there's so much talent here in Canada, and that there's so much potential for us to, I know it sounds a little bit aspirational, but kind of bring our values and thoughts to the world.
That's cool. I also noticed you're a graduate of Seneca College?
I actually teach at Seneca. So I'm a professor up at Seneca in their animation department.
And maybe you could comment a bit about what's offered there at that course and what people can look forward to there?
Sure. So I teach and I help coordinate the 3-year advanced diploma program in animation. So it's all about storytelling, obviously the art of animation itself, but it's core drawing, it's about character design, building your portfolio in terms of figure drawing, environmental design, obviously making characters move and telling stories through film, but a lot of that stuff is applicable to comics as well. So we've had graduates that work for video game companies, special effects companies, animation studios obviously, and comic publishers as well. So it's a really nice broad-based creative course, and we've seen a lot of success to it. So it's nice to be able to kind of have those cross-disciplines coming into play.
That's cool. So we talked very briefly about New York Comic Con. Is that a show, like if you had a preference of which show you could go to, is there one that stands out?
I really like it. New York's great. It's like a pop culture explosion, but the comic stuff is just one kind of part of a larger tapestry there. I like the medium-sized shows. I really like the Toronto Comic Arts Festival here in town, Canadian content. The Calgary Comic Expo is honestly one of my favorite shows. It's a big show, but it has a really strong comic core. And Seattle's Emerald City Comic Con is another favorite for me. Yeah.
Okay, well, that's about it. Thank you very much, Jim. Thanks, Jim, for talking with me at the show. It was a great opportunity to discover his current and upcoming projects. You can discover more about Jim on his website, jimzub.com. And thanks to you for listening to the True North Country Comics podcast. I invite you to subscribe, like, and comment on the podcast. And please send your feedback to truenorthcountrycomics@gmail.com. Thanks again for listening, and come back soon for another episode. Bye for now.